What's up, everybody? You're tuning in to Game Time with Hubb. Football is officially back, and week one wasting no time giving us drama. We've already seen fireworks Thursday and Friday night, and now all eyes turn to Sunday's full slate. Let's break it on down. We're going to start off with recapping Thursday and Friday games. We'll give you my takeaways from each. So we're going to kick it off with the defending champs in Philadelphia, man. They barely escaped the Cowboys with a score of 24-20. And look, the story for me is before the first snap of the game. Jalen Carter was ejected, for spitting on Dak Prescott. That went ahead. It took away from the defense huge. Like I said, he's a guy that commands a double. It forced guys like Jordan Davis into a full workload. The pass rush was not there for Philly, but they did survive. You know what I mean? But Carter's selfish act, it stole the spotlight. To me, looked like it's going to be a suspension, maybe even a fine, possibly both coming down for Carter. Look out for that. The league is already investigating that. So we're going to see what's going to be the outcome of this. And then offensively for Philly, they started off hot, then they got cold late. Hurts had Dallas on skates in the first half. He got anything he wanted, when the lanes was open, he took them, he ran, he made the throws. After that lightning delay, the Eagles managed only three points. Consistency is a concern right now for them, in my opinion. And then next up, we got the injuries, man. They already starting to pile up with Will Shipley, Landon Dickerson. They all left with issues. Depth is being tested early on. And then the team as a whole, you got 110 yards and penalties. That almost gave away the game. So they got to limit that, man. Bottom line, the Eagles escaped 24-20. They still look like the NFC East favorites, but health and discipline are question marks right now for me. On the flip side with the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, look, he looked rejuvenated. Dak answered Carter's disrespect with 4 straight scoring drives, looking mobile and sharp. They were saying that Dak was going up and down the sideline, motivating his guys, which is a good thing, being a leader. And then CeeDee Lamb, man, we got those drops was killers on Thursday night. 3 fourth quarter drops, including a potential game changer on fourth down. To me, in my opinion, that cost Dallas the game. Bright spot, backfield. Javonte Williams, he brought the juice. 2 rushing touchdowns gave Dallas a dimension that they lacked last year. And then the defense, adjusting without Micah, they look lost early. Like I said, Hurts got whatever he wanted, but halftime changes slowed Philly down just to 86 yards in the second half. Bottom line for the Cowboys, they proved they can hang with the champs. If the receivers clean up the drops and the defense keep progressing, they'll be in the mix in the playoffs. Now, Friday night, it took us to Brazil for the Chargers and the Chiefs. And let me tell you, man, this one, it might have flipped the AFC West conversation. I know it's early as week one, but people like to talk and buzz. The Chargers, they beat the Chiefs 27-21. My takeaways here is Justin Herbert. He was unleashed. 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, and in complete command of this entire game on offense. If Greg Roman keeps this balance, the run-only label is going to be going up there in L.A. The receivers. Now, look, Keenan Allen was steady. Quentin Johnston, explosive with 2 scores. Lad McConkey, he added in 74 yards. That wide receiver room is fine. You know what I mean? Like, this is probably the best offense that Justin Herbert has had. So, hey, we saw it. They carved up the Chiefs. And then the culture up there with Jim Harbaugh, is real. They had no late game collapse. The Chargers played disciplined and they finished strong. Now, for the Chiefs defense, that defense needs some work. We see it already. Herbert carved them up. Crazy. 318 yards. And then, the offseason loss in that secondary over there are already glaring. And then, wide receivers. Xavier Worthy went down early on the 3rd snap of the game yesterday. Friendly fire with Travis Kelce. If he misses time, Kansas City's ceiling shrinks. As we've seen, once Worthy went down, that offense looked lost. Other guys going to have to step up within the Hollywood Brown, within the Juju Smith-Schuster. More involved should be Travis Kelce. We got to remember that Rashee Rice is out serving a 6-game suspension. So, depending on what Xavier Worthy's status is, hopefully it's not nothing too crazy. But that wide receiver room and that receiving court over there in Kansas City, it needs some work. But Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, look, he was still special. 57 yards rushing, a touchdown, kept them alive. Also had a passing touchdown, but he can't do it alone. So this offense as a whole got to come together. They look real like out of sync in the first half, especially after losing Worthy early. And then the second half, they kind of started getting it going. So maybe it was what they had the design for their scheme yesterday. A lot of the offense seemed to be it was going to go through Worthy. Who knows? Maybe it really is an issue, with Mahomes and these wide receivers getting on the same page. The bottom line, man, the Chargers, possibly flip that AFC West conversation with a statement win. While the Chiefs, on the other hand, they walk away with real questions on both sides of the ball. And with that, Thursday and Friday already setting the tone for us. Bad blood in the NFC East, possible power shift in the AFC West. All eyes turn to Sunday's full slate. Let's break down the 1 p.m. kickoffs, y'all. We're going to start off in Atlanta, where the Falcons are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, the Bucs, still the kings of the NFC South. Fresh off their fourth straight division crown, Baker Mayfield looks poised for another big year. But the Falcons, on the other hand, they ain't no joke. Michael Penix Jr. takes the reins at quarterback, and Atlanta spent heavy draft capital on its pass rush. With Liam Cohen gone from Tampa staff, the Bucs offense need to find its rhythm still. But you got guys like Mike Evans. I think Baker Mayfield and company, they got enough to hold off Atlanta. Give me the Bucs. Next up, we going to Ohio with the Battle of Ohio. It never disappoints. Got the Cleveland Browns hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. It's Joe Burrow versus Joe Flacco, and that's a clear advantage for Cincinnati. The Bengals have struggled in September in recent years, but they can't afford another slow start. The Browns, they did stun them in a week one back in 2023, but this time I think Joe Burrow is going to deliver late. I'm picking the Bengals. Next up, we go to Indianapolis, where we got the Colts welcoming in the Miami Dolphins. Daniel Jones makes his Colts debut. Danny Dimes, y'all. After winning the quarterback battle over Anthony Richardson, Miami counters with firepower led by Tyreek Hill. Though the corners remain a weak spot. Expect points in this one, but the Colts, desperate to snap a decade-long week one losing streak, they're going to finally get it done at home, y'all. I'm picking the Colts. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence enters the Liam Cohen era in Jacksonville. Remember his press conference? But that's a big storyline. Lawrence and Cohen. Cohen turned that Tampa Bay, offense into a machine last year, and now he gets a two-way star in Travis Hunter to unleash. Bryce Young, for the Panthers, he looked better last season, but I'm looking at Lawrence and the Jags to set the tone here. I'm picking the Jaguar. Now we're going off to Foxborough here in New England with the Patriots. They're going to host the Las Vegas Raiders. You got two new head coaches, two teams in transition. Pete Carroll brings his energy to Las Vegas, while Mike Vrabel brings his tenure in Foxborough. Geno Smith should do just enough against a still developing Patriots roster, and without Gonzo back there for the Patriots, at a corner. Look, I'm looking at Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers to put in some work for this offense with Geno Smith, giving Pete Carroll some revenge against the team that once fired him. I'm picking the Raiders. Next up, we got in New Orleans, got the Arizona Cardinals coming into town to take on the Saints. Ellen Moore makes his head coaching debut for the Saints with Spencer Rattler at quarterback. But the Cardinals, revamped defense, it should travel well. Even in a tough road opener, Arizona grinds out a close one. I'm picking the Cardinals. Next up, we got the New York Jets. They're playing host to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Aaron Rodgers is back, but this time he's in black and yellow. His return to MetLife comes against Justin Fields, who now leads the Jets after swapping places with Rodgers in the offseason. Expect a defensive slugfest. The Steelers going to edge this one out late. I'm picking the Steelers. Key matchup here, DK Metcalf, Sauce Gardner. Let's see what happens. Next up, we're going to Washington with the Commanders as they play host to the New York Giants. Russell Wilson debuts for the Giants, but he's already got rookie Jackson Dart breathing down his neck. Jaden Daniels, on the other side, is in year 2 with Washington and looks ready to take another leap. They already gave Terry McLaurin that contract extension. Deebo Samuel's over there. Laramie Tunsil's over there to protect Daniels now. They're going to need that against this pass rush from New York, led by Abdul Carter. But The Commanders is going to sweep this one out. I'm picking the Commanders here. Now let's shift over here to these late afternoon games. Starting off with the Tennessee Titans traveling to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos. Look, rookie quarterback Cam Ward, he's going to get thrown into the fire in Denver. That Broncos defense is elite. Bo Nix will have opportunities to air it out against this Titans secondary. Look, Ward's debut is going to be bumpy, and Denver cruises at home. I'm picking the Broncos. Next up, we head to Seattle, where the Seahawks playing host to the San Francisco 49ers. Sam Darnold begins a new chapter in Seattle after career reviving in Minnesota. But the 49ers are healthier, with Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams back in the lineup. They made a trade a few weeks ago for Brian Robinson Jr. San Francisco knows how to win in Seattle, and they'll do it again. I'm picking the Niners here. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions coming to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Look, the Lions are breaking in new coordinators on both sides of the ball, while the Packers made a massive splash trading for Micah Parsons. Can Parsons dominate early, right away? Maybe not so in a week one, but you can expect something like throughout the entire season. This right here is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a shootout. Jared Goff got weapons over there with Laporta and St. Brown. Then he got the backfield with Gibbs and Montgomery. Look, but the Packers and Jordan Love, they got weapons over there too. I'm thinking that Jordan Love's going to find a way in Lambeau in the shootout. Give me the Packers. Next up, we're going over here to L.A. with the Rams. They playing host to the Houston Texans. Matt Stafford is banged up, but he's starting. That back injury is going to be something to watch all season. C.J. Stroud faces a tough Rams pass rush behind the shaky line. I think that's going to be too much for him. Stafford does enough, and the Rams protect their house. Give me the Rams. Now on to Sunday Night Football. Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills. This right here, in my opinion, is the game of the week. Look, the Ravens still have that sting of that drop 2-point conversion in last year's playoff loss in Buffalo. Lamar Jackson wants payback, but Josh Allen, the Bills are brutal to beat at home under the lights. I'm looking at Buffalo in this one, man. They're going to edge out another classic here. I'm picking the Bills. And finally, we wrap up with Monday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings, Chicago Bears. AJ McCarthy, he makes his long-awaited debut for Minnesota. But it's on the road against Caleb Williams and the new-look Bears offense under head coach Ben Johnson. McCarthy may have a bright future, and he got some weapons over there. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. They had just acquired through trade was last week. Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson at tight end. But I got to lean with Chicago in the upset special. I think Williams and Johnson, give Chicago the juice for an opening night upset up in Chicago. They are the home dogs, but I'm picking the Bears. And that's that. Full week one slate. We've already seen drama, ejections, and upsets. We're just getting started. Make sure you follow Game Time with Hubb wherever you listen to your podcast. Tap in with me on IG, TikTok, Facebook, for my quick takes after games. Football is back, man. I'm excited. Hope y'all excited, man. Let's enjoy this 2025 NFL season. Until next time, I'm out, man.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Game Time with Hubb. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss Game Time action. See you next time.